But what will Franklin the Turtle think? Yes, plastic straws might be back. And we're going to talk today about why that actually might be a good thing for the environment. Oh, we're going to start some liberal rage today. Get ready for all caps, bad grammar, and terrible spelling in the comments because here we go. Welcome back to Bakes on Things. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great long weekend. We are back today and we are talking plastic straws because Pierre Poilievre over the weekend made an announcement that he is going to potentially, if elected, end the ban on plastic straws. So we thought, with all the liberal rage happening around this announcement, we should probably take a look at whether this might actually be a good thing. And so we did a little research and we talked to a recycling plant or somebody who works at a recycling plant via a chat. We did not get a personal interview, so I will read out what he said, but it is telling. It is telling. I didn't know even half of this. I actually thought that maybe the paper straws were actually benefiting us, but as it turns out, we may actually be putting the planet in a worse position with paper straws. First and foremost, though, I want to go back to, if you haven't voted, today is the last day for advanced polls. So make sure that you go out and vote now or next Monday. You've got one more week. If you don't vote today, you can vote at your electoral offices in between, or you can vote on the 28th as well. Please vote. Your vote is incredibly important. No matter what you see about the long lines from this weekend, it doesn't mean everyone voted, and it doesn't mean your vote doesn't count. You must vote. Get out there and vote, especially our youth. It's great to learn. Actually, when I voted on Saturday, we talked to the person that was running the whole thing, and they said they had a ton, perhaps record, youth registrations to vote. So that's fantastic, and great job to our youth for that. Okay, so that's that topic. But now, if you're still considering, if you're still on the fence, if you're still worried about things, this is one that hit a little hard on the weekend, and we need to talk about it because, of course, the liberal holier than thous are out there talking about how we've now, or Pierre is now going to destroy the planet, going back to plastic straws. Let's take a look at the reality, though. And you know what's wild? Pierre Poilievre says, "Hey, Canadians, I'm going to get rid of the paper straw mandate." And the entire Liberal Party starts convulsing like he just outlawed maple syrup. Now, the drama, the hysteria, the full blown tantrum over straws. And that's why we're doing this today, because this is just out of hand now. This liberalism, this liberal effort to say that the world is over because of straws. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the great Canadian paper straw scam. Because guess what? Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, libs, it was a scam the whole time. Because, these are the straws that disintegrate in your drink. And before you jump all over me that that's my reason, it's not. But it does happen. And before you can even get through your medium iced coffee, they've disintegrated. So you basically need to have 3 of them just to finish one drink. So on top of that, that's not environmentally friendly at all. That's actually a pulp crisis. But here's the truth bomb the liberals do not want to talk about. Okay. And this is in particular the Liberal Party, because if they say this, their supporters will, of course, hear reality, and reality is a tough thing for liberals. Paper straws are actually harder to recycle. Why, though? Well, according to the guy I talked to, because they are often coated with chemicals to keep them from getting soggy. So they try to prevent these things from melting down in your drink, and they use chemicals in order to do that. So those coatings, they jam up recycling systems, or they also require special processing, which many of our smaller communities don't have, so they end up having to throw these straws out. Now, we also took a look at a study in the Journal of Analytic Chemistry, and they found that paper straws contain forever chemicals, which are known as PFAs, in higher quantities than any plastic straw ever produced. Yep, you heard that right. Your eco-friendly solution is actually literally worse for you and the environment. The chemicals on your paper straws are destroying more. Plus, more trees are cut down for paper straws than the entire carbon footprint of plastic straw manufacturing. Did you know that? It actually takes about 4 times as much energy and 30% more emissions to produce paper straws than it does to produce plastic ones. So, congratulations, liberals. You just saved a sea turtle, potentially. I mean, I've never seen one choking on a straw, but whatever. And wiped out half a forest. And that's real. So, this is where you really have to look at Carney's compostable clown show here. Mark Carney, or Trudeau Point 2.0, with a Bay Street suit, wants to eliminate all plastic food packaging in Canada, not just the straws, all plastic food packaging. You know, the stuff that keeps our food fresh, your bread, your vegetables, keeps our food safe, and it keeps our food affordable. Yeah, he wants all of that gone. Just gone. Just gone because it's polluting. But it's not, but it is. But here's what this will actually cause if you got rid of all the plastic packaging that protects from food spoilage. You're going to get skyrocketing food spoilage. Without airtight plastic packaging, things like meats, fruits, vegetables, dairy, bread, they will spoil in record time. Now remember that wasted food equals wasted money, making it more costly for Canadians. But even worse, more greenhouse gases. You see, rotting food is one of the largest contributors to methane emissions in the world. So if you have to throw out more food, you got more methane. According to Second Harvest, Canada already wastes 35.5 million tons of food per year. This proposal of Mark Carney's could easily double that number every single year. That wasted food, it could feed entire countries on their own. But instead, Mark Carney wants to dump it all in a landfill wrapped in a soggy cardboard box while telling you you're saving the planet. Meanwhile, the landfill emits more methane than 17 fields of cows because of all this rotting food. This liberal feel-good environmentalism is all a farce. This is what I call aesthetic activism. Policies that look good on paper, but do nothing in actual real life and potentially even make things worse. The liberals love this, though. They make you feel virtuous while they cause actually more harm. They ban things like plastic straws and plastic wrappers, but have absolutely zero plan for alternatives that actually work, and you don't have to slather in chemicals to help keep the food safe still. They don't factor in supply chain changes that would cost to consumers millions of extra dollars, or the literal mountain of spoiled food that will be created. It's like banning umbrellas during a rainstorm and handing out cardboard visors instead. You're going to need 6 of them just to get through the rainstorm, and everything's going to be soggy, and where are you going to put all that crap? Like, come on, liberals. It's well beyond insane right now. So when you hear Pierre Poilievre speak about this and speaks about common sense, this is one of those things. Yes, Poilievre wants to abolish the paper straw mandate, and thank God. It's not just about convenience. Okay? It is about reducing waste that actually matters, preventing unnecessary deforestation. This is also about lowering emissions from pointless manufacturing and allowing businesses and consumers to make choices that make actual sense. See, you'll still be able to choose paper straws if you wish, but you aren't mandated to use paper straws. This is the point. He's not saying let's dump plastic into rivers. I mean, a liberal will tell you he is, but he really isn't. He's saying let's use our heads and ditch performative policies that are hurting more than they help. So next time you're meeting with a liberal family member, a liberal friend, give them the respect. But the next time they cry about the end of paper straws, hand them a reusable metal one instead and say, here, save a turtle, spare a tree, and maybe, just maybe, stop pretending the world ends every time Pierre Poilievre says something rational. Because honestly, if we banned liberal nonsense as quickly as we banned plastic forks, can you imagine how much Canada would thrive? Canada would be absolutely thriving without liberal nonsense. And that's crazy to me because there are so many people that think that it's great to vote liberal. Some of the behavior we're seeing in the lines from the weekend, the liberals giving the finger to people filming them and stuff, just disgusting. But anyway, like, share, drop a comment. If you've ever lost a drink to a disintegrating paper straw, I'd love to hear about it. And hey, maybe forward this to someone who thinks banning Ziploc bags will solve climate change. Spoiler alert, it won't. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you tomorrow.